Hey, welcome back to Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tom. Today we have a Dragon King item, the Autumn Leaf Katana, which is fitting because it's autumn. This is going to be an excellent cutter. We'll do some cutting with this one, up close looks, and some specs. Let's get right into it. All right, just first impressions on this one, just transparency. I've done the cutting already. I always do the cutting on a separate day so I can focus on that. Just some kind of general overviews of this. Really, a katana, no matter the price point, should do really a couple really simple things. First and foremost, it should cut through tatami mats pretty easily as long as you have proper training and you have soaked the mats correctly. Whether that's 24 hours or 48 hours, the edge that the katana has, it should cut directly through that pretty much no problem. The higher the price point you go on katanas, the better the edge quality is going to be and the more precise it can be, especially with, factoring in your type of training and also factoring in what you're cutting. So I'm assuming you're cutting tatami mats when I'm speaking of this, because that's the traditional method for cutting with katanas. So this being right under a $400 katana, it does that very well. You're going to see in a couple of the Instagram and YouTube shorts and reels that we posted of me working some attack by combinations with this guy, then working some direct cutting. It cuts really, really well. So I worked some upward cuts, I worked some backhand cuts, and then I worked with two-hand cuts as well for this being a katana. This one is almost 3 pounds. It's like 2 pounds, 10.7 ounces. We'll go through all the specific specs with the up-close looks, but this one is more of a beefy blade. I'm going to set the scabbard down. So keeping it in hand, I do like cutting with katanas with a single hand because that's what I'm comfortable with. But I also worked some two-hand work as well because you see that a lot more commonly and more traditionally with katanas with a two-handed grip. So a beefy blade, you have the exposed hamen line on here. The edge is really, really sharp. Like even just a little bit of a touch on that, you wouldn't want to nick your finger on that. So it's a very nice edge. Easy to clean, and I know that because cutting with it, I have to clean everything directly after, so there's no water spots or potential water spots, or obviously you're not just going to cut with a sword and then just throw it back in the scabbard because of the moisture. So really easy to clean from experience, not just from, talking about it randomly. And, looking at it after cutting with it for doing a little bit of cutting, don't really need to maintenance the blade at all. There's no chips in the edge. There's nothing that I would really be concerned about as far as quality goes. The handle, tightly wrapped grip. We've got that ray skin underneath with the bamboo pin right toward the middle finger of the grip. That way that feels nice and secure. Something I will note as well is that with a two-handed grip with this one, I should have actually brought the camera down, so I'll bring it up. With the grip, it feels more flat than some other katanas that I've worked with, and what I mean by that is this is just really well done where this slides right into the hand, especially with a two-handed grip. It feels almost like a yari, or it almost feels just very well built, like you want to hold this into a lower guard position on the backhand side. In those higher positions, it also feels really good, as you're going to see in the cut testing. This one also comes with a standard black hardwood scabbard that's black polished, and it has the coating that you're going to see in a lot of different katanas. It's a standard scabbard, but it's made well. If you see little imperfections in it, that's because I'm going to get blemished ones to cut with and all that, so just kind of keep that in mind. Unless you're purchasing a blemished one, it shouldn't come with little scratches and things like that. And I'm pointing that out because I'm looking at the scabbard right now, and there's a couple of them from the way that they sent it to me. So that's just there, obviously protect the scabbard. Nothing crazy to say about that. It draws out well. There's no concerns about any type of scratches and stuff like that on the blade. So pretty good as far as that goes. Let's do some up close looks at this one in the scabbard now. The scabbard, so you can take a look at the hamen line, which I don't really think you'll be able to see it right now. So I'll get some up close looks of it so you can see it. Let's go through some specs. All right, overall length is going to be 42 3/4 inches. Blade length 30 1/4 inches. The weight on this one is 2 pounds, 10.7 ounces. edge is very sharp, as you'll see in the cut testing. Width on this one is 31.8 millimeters. Thickness is 7.6 millimeters down to 4 millimeters. There's no pommel. Point of balance is 6 inches from the guard. We have a grip length of 11 3/16 of an inch with a 5160 high carbon steel blade. Obviously this is a katana, culture is Japanese, manufactured by Dragon King. Here are some extra up close looks of the Haman line that you're going to see in the light. And keep in mind some of these other blemishes you're seeing are from after doing cut testing. This blade was not in 100% perfect condition when it was shipped to me, which is why I'm using it for cut testing. Here's some better looks at the handle of the race skin, the bamboo pin, and how tightly wrapped it is. Nothing to complain about there, just some really up close looks of it so you can get some really good details in. Alright, we've done the specs, taken a look at this thing up close and the craftsmanship of this Dragon King Autumn Leaf Katana. Now let's go into the cut testing. On the cutting, I am experimenting with single-handed cuts, and also I think I did 1 or 2 two-handed cuts on it as well. I take my time with it and make sure the cuts are going to be precise, and really just experimenting with different guard positions, things like that for the viewer, so that way you can see as close to three-dimensional as possible how these items are going to perform or can perform. So let's take a look at that cut testing with the Autumn Leaf Katana from Dragon King. Alright, so thanks for joining me for this quick review of the Autumn Leaf Katana from Dragon King. This is the new version. This one is the clay tempered version, so high quality edge, easy to clean, and also really more of a robust blade, being about 2 pounds, 10.7 ounces. Make sure to check this one out at kultofathena.com. I put the link in the description below this video if you want to pick this one up and add it to your collection. I'm your host Tom for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok and on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next review.